Hello, my name is Voodoo, and welcome to This Is Not Your House. Okay, crazy music just ended, so that's cool. So it was $1.50 on Steam, and it looks creepy. It's October 1st. I forgot. I totally forgot. I meant to record and have a backlog of videos to upload all this month. It looks pretty creepy. I don't really know what it's about, but I like this text, this style. It's probably gonna lend itself pretty well to being spooky. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. That seems like one of the places it wouldn't happen. I mean, yes, it's possible that it happens then, but I would be a lot more nervous just in public in general. I mean, maybe he doesn't live in a great place. It's just a shed on the side. Just click, okay. Whoa, is it gonna do that every time? So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. He hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. This is anxiety, like just exactly how anxiety works. Like, if I lived on my own, I would probably have the same fear, and, you know, just having, like, things ready. Like, I am aware that these anxious thoughts that I have are entirely unrealistic, but it doesn't stop me from feeling them and thinking about the best ways to avoid stuff. As Roger makes his way up to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. Maybe it's OCD then, which I've heard that they kind of go hand in hand and are a terrible combo. But he can't stop listening for the sound of somebody rushing towards him. I mean, besides the fact that it causes paranoia, being aware of what's happening around you, especially if you feel unsafe, or the area you're in is unsafe, like, that's not a bad idea. Except the fact that it's like, I don't know, if it follows you forever, it's like, man, what a terrible way to live, you know? Oh, it didn't happen that time. There's a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. There it goes. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. Again, to a certain degree. Oh, I could do voices. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now. Smooth is fast. Roger's key slides in on the first try. Oh, he's great in bed. I just know it. Sorry. It won't turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H. Definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked? Jammed? Broken maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. You may not hear it, I may remove it, but every time I click through to the next thing, it does that sound that you heard at the beginning. I may cut it out because there's no other sound happening right now. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key and door handle every which way, without success. Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant. The police are en route. En route. I'll take this route. I actually don't think it matters, but the door unlocks from the inside. Can I help you? I made it stick with that voice, don't worry. You could start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. Check the deed, lady. A deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. What a weird interaction. If someone was in my house, I wouldn't knock on the door and be like, get out, the police are here. I would walk away, probably drive away actually, call the police and say, check this, it's my house, somebody's in it. It seems like this isn't necessarily an actual intruder, I don't know. But I'm just saying, that'd be the smart move. Personal property is a social construct. That's not the voice I did, but that's what I'm sticking with. But no, get out of my house. Those who inhabit a space own it. Inhabit the space outside my house. Let her have the house or take your house back. I figure this ends the game. I'm gonna click it. Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station. Which car is that? The one I pulled up in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. Oh, the only one sitting in the driveway. I read the wrong name. But sir, that's my car. Oh God, I hate you. Seth hates you. It's me being Seth. I know I said my name was Voodoo. My name is Seth. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy I use as an avatar. Don't get it twisted. I'm a real man. That's my car. What in the hell? Roger turns just in time to see the car he calls his own, reversing into the street. Who's in it? He sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat. What? And disappear down the road. Here, let me help you with that. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one, ooh. Uh-oh, deft sweep. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. I'm gonna sneeze, cut this out. Gosh darn it. He feels goosebumps forming on his arms as his nipples harden. Okay, what is this game? Give me my shirt back. No need for these either. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanks backward, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles on his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision with the porch. He can hear the sounds of rustling fabric and crinkling plastic bags. Roger wraps his arm around his head and groans. Please, not my chicken. Okay, this is less serious than I thought it was going to be. The homeowner gathers Roger's things, glides into the house, and slams the door shut. Oh. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. I mean, I understand that the nipples hardening was because it's cold outside, not because he was aroused or anything. But, wait her out. No. I'm going to break down the door. Oh. Roger's a strong man, but not strong enough to break the door down with his bare feet. Okay. Music's playing now, that's interesting. So there may not be a regular person in this house. It's probably a ghost if they can also be in the car. I don't understand. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Has she found his shotgun? You should be way more panicked if you have guns in the house. Roger had only a moment to act. Arm yourself. Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead. Whoa. Practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. Yeah, in that situation, I think I would have hidden. Maybe not to ambush her. If there was a chance she had a shotgun, I would have been out of the house. Well, obviously, like I said, I wouldn't be in this situation anyways. I'd be in the car calling the cops. But this may be earlier. He may not have a cell phone. But then again, he said his police are en route. I don't know. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled as John Doe. He was cremated by the town according to protocol. Yeah, he's naked too, so she probably got away with just saying it was an intruder. The local paper released a story about the incident, labeling Roger an unidentified drifter and the homeowner a neighborhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of someone who defended themselves when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely. Oh, I just got the achievement fake news. You could probably zoom in on it. She was paid handsomely. What? Oh, to act as the keynote speaker. You don't get paid handsomely to defend yourself by killing somebody. That shouldn't be a thing. What am I looking at here? Is that a wolf with a crown? Sideways horse with a really long neck? For a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. Why are there so many periods? Or are they... Oh, end credits. Oh, okay, so that's it. Okay, cool. Cody. Jameson. Pseudonym. Art by Junie Chaves. Wow. Look at that. Okay. Let's get back to the point where I was at. I'll cut through all this, so you don't have to hear all that. Okay, so we're back to here. I'm going to take the house back instead. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face at the gap. Oh, that's gross. That's good thumbnail material, though. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner is knocked back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken. I'll get it when you're gone. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. Roger hears a car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. It can't be. Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in his kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he is sure she is gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Doilies. Oh, doilies, table runners. So how long was I gone then? It seemed like I was just out for a grocery trip. How did she put like a bunch of stuff in there? It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in on her own. She hadn't moved in on her own. Then, I guess that they don't have a comma in this text, so it's just a period. Then there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. She changed the locks too. New anxiety. You no longer fear an ambush outside your home, but you dread somebody being in there. Oh, a shadow passes by the window. So it's not a real person, or I'm going crazy. But no, I wouldn't be going crazy because other people noticed her after she killed me. Huh, so the loop just happened again after a bit. Okay, we're gonna do that one again. Take your house back. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. Got your chicken. All right, we'll get the chicken this time. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous to the homeowner, which I think just means it looks the same. Analogous. Yeah, because an allegory is, yeah. To the homeowner, devouring his rotisserie chicken. The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. Oof. Period. That's the hole it made. Oop, there's the blood. There's more. Oh no, that's his eyes? Oh no, those are stab wounds. That's his back. Okay. Yeah, the dots are increasing with every stab wound. I was kidding, but Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He could taste the tang of her blood with an unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as his blood pumps through his heart and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. So yeah, there are two, actually. Whether it's twins or whether it's she's a witch of some kind, or a hag. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bags on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter it to see how much there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate a draft. The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings-on in the house. Last meal. You didn't get your chicken, but worse substance for others. Well, they could have waited till ate it, and then I'd be better for them. Oh well. I had my prying neighbors by a door and some drapes. Wow. Okay. I don't think there's a good ending here. Okay. I've got a bunch of options here. Okay. So break down the door I tried, which I think there's actually. I can go back. Is there another option here? Yes. Okay, we'll do this now. Hide and ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. For some reason, he had an intuition that it wouldn't work. Oof. He pressed himself against the corner of the wall at the bottom of the staircase. Yeah. Hoping to remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares up at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding it and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again. And again. Oof, and again. Relentlessly fragmenting and disorienting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. Police arrived shortly after. A neighbor called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass. Roger's defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. He couldn't prove that she had the shotgun first. I mean, it's all he said, she said, but she wasn't there to defend herself, obviously. But it's his house. he doesn't know her, well, then it could be just like, yeah, he took her back there and killed her there, and just pretending. That's a tough one to get away from. A woman. Police were never able to identify. Due to the excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and a lack of documentation, the jury found Roger Cormack guilty of the first-degree homicide. The prosecution convinced jurors that Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Yeah, that's really tough to get away from without actually having called the police, saying like, hey, there's an intruder beforehand. There's like something to back up what you've done. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row awaiting lethal injection. You obtain living quarters on death row for defending yourself. Okay, still not a good ending, but I'm not dead. Well, no, I am dead, actually. So those are the only two options with that. We'll wait her out now. Roger was not one to bully others, or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch, like any respectable citizen would. No. In this situation, a lot of other things would happen. I would go find something to cover myself up with in the shed or something. Go to a neighbor. There, apparently I have neighbors. I'm not just like on a farm out in the middle of nowhere, which is what I thought originally. But I have neighbors. Go say, hey, you know me. I live there. There's a lady in my house. She literally took my clothes somehow. And then another one of her, or you say someone else stole my car too. And you say, can you call the police? Or can you drive me somewhere where I can contact them? I figure I would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent, and his hollers turned into hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He got frostbite. Hypothermia is what it is that makes you feel warm after a bit. He sat on the porch, curled up, and nestled his head against the front door. I remember that because there was a comic book I read about the Donner Dinner Party, I think is what it was called, by Nathaniel something, and he had the same name as the spy. I don't remember if he was an American spy or he was a spy on America back way when, and he was like not the same guy at the beginning of every one of his books. I remember those were fun. And then reading the Donner Dinner Party, I read that multiple times. I checked that out of the library multiple times. And I remember one guy, I don't remember the name, was like, oh no, I think I'm getting warm, and started taking his coat off, and like people were really trying to stop him, and then he just died. And then they ate him. You know, that's how it goes. That's that whole story. It was the comfiest and sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. The cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. Hypothermia, you froze to death because you blah blah. So that's not the worst one of the endings. I really don't know what I'm looking at here. Seek shelter. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. There's literally a shed that says shed next to your house. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pains. He crawls out from the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around, looking for food. He happens upon a large growth of mushrooms. Either I'm going to die from starvation or I'm going to die sick from mushrooms that aren't good. We'll eat the mushrooms. Roger consumes the mushrooms with a desperate ferocity. I think in this situation, I eat tree bark just to get that feeling away first, or something else like leaves, which are also not sanitary and not necessarily always good, before I'd eat mushrooms that I don't understand. I don't know. Also, I don't like mushrooms, but in this situation, that's not a factor. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he begins to feel ill. His head begins to spin. His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. Roger sees that the world around him is a part of him, or he is a part of it. A very small part. A moat. The homeowner was right. In part, personal property is a construct, but habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree anymore after sleeping in it than he did before knowing of it. The moat merely landed on the tree. In the morning, it came upon some mushrooms and began thinking of the world before itself. It surrendered itself to the soil, to the cool damp, to a network, forsaking hunger, forsaking words like Roger, and returning home. Okay, you died by becoming part of the fungal network. Ah, yes, that is what's happening here. Okay, that's cool. And then don't eat the mushrooms. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be. But the fact remains, he was still hungry. The thing is, you could survive hunger for a couple days, so it's not like you're gonna die as long as you ate yesterday, at some point. He said, I don't remember how many days. So maybe he would die in certain cases. He set out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace, skulking through the tree line parallel to the roadway to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into alleys and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze, makes him salivate and clenches fists in an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. Fire station. They might be able to help. They'd have a blanket for me at least. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. And then you can make up a story or tell him the true story about someone who literally stole your clothes. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing it can lend me? Or some food to spare? Got plenty of both. Come on in. I don't know why he's British, but that's the first voice I came with. Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with the monogram of a defunct company on it. Accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes, knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Cheery's in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we got. I would appreciate some. Thank you. The fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and cold beer. Ooh, Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So, if you don't mind me asking, what's got you out in the street, with your pecker hanging out? Maybe I was right to make him British. I went out for groceries yesterday. While I was out, some woman broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in and had to spend a night in the woods. But why was your pecker out? You like shopping naked? No, the woman had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. It took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on the porch and her pal took off with my car. The fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? It was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find the station and she took my phone. Okay, so yes, I had a phone. So I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kinda makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled onto this place. The facade really stands out. You mean just the fire station? Is facade the right word? You got any kind of documentation to prove you own that house? Of course. I have the deed in the safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that bitch took my pants. That's a good sentence. Someone clip that. With my wallet still in them. You think she's still in the house or took off in that car with a pal? She had no intention of leaving, I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues on the horn and get this sorted for you. The fireman lumbers over to a phone on the far wall. A wave of relief washes over Roger, knowing a civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. Everyone here is being very calm about this situation. He doesn't want the fireman thinking of him as a crazy old man. Worse still, Roger worries that he is a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. Part of him hopes the woman is still in his house to prove to himself that what he remembers happening really happened. When the police arrive at Roger's residence, they find a homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom. Raving that the house is hers, she's been in there all her life. It's her childhood home. She demands the police get a warrant to search the premises, but she is unable to provide personal ID or proof of residence. Bearing no legal claim to the property, she cannot refuse them entry. They are unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner has destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he uses to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner. She was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada. Where am I now? Not Nevada. It's cold here. Where Blackrock was breaking ground on the construction of new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Civil service. I'll probably put up a picture of all these achievements. Oh, that's the good ending. That one I like. Follow the scent of food. I don't think there's another option within the fire station. Roger's hunger takes hold of him. It demands satisfaction. So he follows the scent in the air. He finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the store barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. It's on his DS. Roger wanders the vacant halls of his clothing store or into the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks and some sneakers, and he heads straight for the ready-made meals by the self-checkout. Piping hot pizzas for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store, leaving discarded pizza boxes and tags in his wake. I mean, you can get away with it. Insert arm into automation. What? Is it supposed to be ARM? Automation orifice. He makes his way to the ATM outside the store's entrance. Roger reads the display and looks down. He sees the ATM's orifice. What? He slides his arm inside. It is cold, pulsating. Roger looks up at the display. His fingers grope around inside the orifice for the keypad. Roger feels the raised shape of numbers on the keys. He pokes his pen into the pad. The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies. Roger had never committed a criminal act. What kind of world is this? Okay, anyway, he was distressed to discover how easy it was at his own house in broad daylight. No one paid any attention as he hooked a hose up to the gas station outside the house. Gas tank outside the house, sorry. No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window or ran the gas tank's hose through it. Not even when he threw the lit Zippo inside. The neighborhood only took notice when they heard the result. The fire department was first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Arsonist. I have a family? Okay. Roger was able to claim the full amount on his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. Oh, so he did say he was an old man. He is an old man. Okay. Or older man. I don't want to say old, but he did say he was an old man. Okay. That's also an okay ending. That's not a bad ending. I mean, I think it's a bit preemptive to go ahead and potentially kill the lady after this as your first course of action, but Seth knowing what he knows from other endings, it makes sense. Just fine. Okay, find help. Driven by the belief that he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt and an officer steps out of the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him, shouting, attempting to explain the situation. Why would you run? 1, you're naked. 2, why would you run at a police officer? The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move! Hands! Let me see those hands! They're up. I'm cooperating. Suspect is uncooperative. I'm cooperating. What am I suspect of? Turn around! I said turn around right now! Roger complies. Walk backward towards me! Roger walks backward toward the officer. Not so fast! Roger stops in a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up! Roger, very slowly, walks backward towards the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace. He is terrified of doing something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger could feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood and steers him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with its dispatch. Roger's naked body wriggles against the leather in the back seat as he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there! A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone has broken into my house. Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over. The old someone stole my house trick. Routine. Save it for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers, there's two. Right, because that one got out of the passenger side. Sit in total silence as they cruise toward the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. Then I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange how? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right, but what is it that made her strange to you? how calm she was about it all, acting like I was a perfect stranger and she belonged there. The officers glanced at one another. So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door. Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house, and then I turned around and I saw her driving away in my car at the same time. No! You did so well in the other ending when you said she had an accomplice. No. Okay. A pair of twins, maybe? They were her. In the car and in the house, all at once. No, you accept the twin thing. So what happened to your clothes? She took them right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car taking off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking? The officers snicker as they share a look. It's not funny. I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. All right, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of the same person and wandered the streets naked, but you haven't had anything to drink. That's not what I said. That isn't how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking. I'm not drunk, though. I am sober. I said I was not drinking. It's true what I said, every word of it. But I know that the subject is not cooperating, and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. Oh dear God. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Maybe he's telling the truth. Obviously he worded it badly, but you're not even going to investigate it? Without a diagnosis and a treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings, as they did with all the other patients, content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. Forced wellness. Unspecific nonsense that you can hear pressing in your ear to any patient's cell. That's a terrible ending. Man, police in this town suck. As a lot of them do. Confess to drunkenness. Roger hangs his head in his hands. You're right, officer. I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's all right, old-timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm very grateful. So why am I admitting to this? Is it just because it's easier? Well, you can spend the night in here in the drunk tank. We'll release you in the morning. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting on his cell bench. It was rigid and uncomfortable. Roger had learned to deal with the discomfort in service. Oh, okay. True to his word, the officer released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the lost and found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet and no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passersby refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to look at him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowds entirely out of memory. Vagrant. Oh, man. Yeah, so it did say false testimony. Okay. Well, that one sucks, too. Okay, I think I did everything. Let me see if there's other achievements. Nope, I didn't. All right. So I've gotten all the endings. That was pretty cool. I don't know how I'm going to cut this up. I don't know how I'm going to shorten it. It may not be short. Maybe a couple parts. Who knows? So thanks for watching. I don't know I never know how to end videos where I'm just recording. So yeah, I'll have some other scary or spooky or creepy videos out throughout the rest of the month. I'm probably gonna edit this down, either upload it today or upload it tomorrow. But yeah, like I said, bye. Unsettling, but also entertaining. Oh, this is a recording.